in the sun-drenched hills of Napa Valley, California, where vineyards rolled. Like emerald tides beneath a sky so blue it hurt to look at, 9-year-old Lily Chen lived with her grandmother, May, in a Victorian house that creaked with every gust. The old place sat atop the family winery, its gabled roof weathered by decades of harvests, its wraparound porch a perch where Lily spent her mornings. She was a small girl with a wild black braid that swung like a pendulum, her brown eyes sharp with a curiosity that burned brighter than the summer sun. Her parents had died when she was 4, a car skidding off a rain-slick road, leaving her with May, a wiry woman whose silver-streaked hair framed a face etched with lines from years of tending vines. May's hands were rough, stained purple from grape juice, but her voice carried a warmth that wrapped Lily like a quilt, even when it snapped with rules. Napa Valley thrummed with life in late September. The harvest was in full swing. Pickers bent low in the fields, their chatter rising over the hum of tractors, while the air hung heavy with the sweet, fermenting tang of crushed fruit. Lily's world was the vineyard's edges, rows of gnarled vines she'd weave through, her sneakers kicking up dust, a slingshot tucked in her overalls to fend off crows or ping at tin cans. May let her run free, trusting the land to keep her safe, though she'd call from the porch, "Stay out of trouble, little fox." Lily would flash a grin, her teeth white against her sun-browned skin, but trouble was her shadow. It followed her like a faithful hound, whispering of secrets in the earth. That morning, the sky was crisp and clear, the sun just cresting the hills, painting the vines gold. Lily stood on the porch, barefoot in patched overalls, a stick in her hand-sheet, dubbed her scepter after a night in one of May's old books. She'd planned to hunt lizards by the creek that snaked through the valley, her pockets stuffed with stale crackers from the kitchen and a smooth pebble sheet found by the well, a lucky charm, she'd decided. The winery bustled below, workers hauling baskets, but a stillness hung over the house, a quiet that felt alive, tugging at her like a thread. She was about to leap off the steps when a sound stopped her, a soft, urgent bark, muffled but sharp, rising from the cellar door behind her. Lily's braid swung as she spun, her stick dropping to the warped boards with a clatter. It came again, louder, a cry buried beneath stone, echoing up through the cracks. Her heart kicked hard against her ribs. She knew that sound. A dog, trapped maybe, calling out for help. May's rules flashed through her mind. No pets, Lily, no mess. But this wasn't some stray wandering the vines. It was down there, in the dark, needing her. She darted to the cellar door, its iron handle cold and slick under her fingers, her sneakers scuffing the threshold. The vineyard faded behind her as she pried it open, a cool draft spilling out, thick with the scent of oak and secrets. Whatever was down there, Lily couldn't turn away. Her curiosity was afire, and this was a spark she'd chase to the end. The cellar stairs creaked under Lily's weight, each step a groan that bounced off the stone walls, the air growing cooler and damper with every foot she descended. She clutched her stick tight, its tip tapping the worn steps, a faint shaft of light spilling from the open trapdoor above. The bark rang out again, closer now, a desperate edge to it that pulled her past. Towering rows of barrels, their oak curves gleaming in the gloom like silent sentinels. Shadows flickered across her path, cast by the swaying vines outside, and her braid snagged on a splintered barrel edge, yanking her back. She winced, tugging it free, her breath puffing out in little clouds. She was deep now, deeper than May liked her to go. The sound led her to the cellar's far corner, where the oldest barrels stood. Their labels faded to smears, the air sharp with the musk of aged wine and earth. There, in a patch of dust and cobwebs, she saw it. A dog, small and scruffy, its russet fur matted with grime, pawing frantically at a cracked stone wall. Its eyes, a warm hazel that caught the dim light, met hers, wide with something like relief, and it let out a sharp yip, its tail wagging despite the tremble in its thin frame. Lily dropped to her knees, her stick clattering to the stone, her overalls soaking up the damp. "Hey, buddy," she whispered, her voice high and gentle, a smile tugging at her lips despite the chill creeping up her spine. Up close, the dog was a wiry thing, its ribs poking through its coat, its paws caked with dirt from scratching at the wall. A leather collar hung loose around its neck, no tags dangling, but a faint symbol etched into the strap, a crescent moon, worn but clear. It nosed her hand, its tongue rough against her knuckles, and Lily giggled, the sound echoing softly. "How'd you get down here?" she murmured, her fingers brushing its ears, feeling the warmth beneath the filth. The dog barked again, sharper, its hazel eyes darting to the wall, pawing at a loose stone with a whine that said, "Look, look here." Lily squinted, her hands tracing the wall, cold, rough, but uneven, a draft seeping through a hairline crack. She wedged her stick into a gap, her small arms straining, and a brick shifted, dust puffing out in a cloud that made her cough. The dog's barking grew frantic, its claws scrabbling, and Lily dug her fingers in, tugging harder, her nails scraping stone. Another brick gave way, tumbling to the floor with a dull thud, revealing a hidden nook, a narrow hollow, dark and deep, the air inside stale and heavy with age. Her pulse quickened as she leaned in, the dog pressing close, its breath hot against her cheek. In the gloom, something glinted, a metal box, half buried in dirt, its rusted lid etched with that same crescent moon. Lily's breath caught, her hands trembling as she reached for it, the dog's whine urging her on. She gripped her stick, prying at the box's edge, her heart hammering as it scraped free, its weight solid and cold in her lap. The cellar was silent now, the barking stilled, but footsteps thudded. Overhead, May's voice, sharp and edged with worry. "Lily, where are you, girl?" Lily froze, the dog's hazel eyes locked on hers, urgent and bright. She clutched the box tighter, her mind racing. This wasn't just a rescue. It was a mystery, and it belonged to them both. The cellar's shadows deepened as Lily crouched by the nook, the metal box pressed against her knees, its crescent moon carving rough under her fingers. The russet dog, Rusty, she'd decided to call him, for his fur and the rust on his secret, panted beside her, his hazel eyes glinting in the faint light from above. The trapdoor creaked wider, May's silhouette looming, her voice cutting through the damp like a blade. "Lily Chen, you answer me right now." Lily scrambled to her feet, Rusty leaping up with her, his tail wagging despite the tension coiling in her chest. She hugged the box close, her sneakers slipping on the stone as she called, "Down here, Gran. I found something." May's boots thudded down the stairs, her apron dusted with flour from the morning's bread, her silver hair catching the light as she descended. Her eyes narrowed at Rusty, her mouth tightening into a line. "A dog? In my cellar? What I told you about strays, Lily." She stopped short, her gaze dropping to the box in Lily's arms, and her face changed. Fear flickered there, then something softer, deeper, like a memory clawing its way up from the past. "Where did you get that?" she asked, her voice dropping to a whisper, her hands reaching out, trembling despite their strength. Lily stepped forward, Rusty nudging her leg, as if to say show her. He was barking at the wall. "Stuck, Gran. I got him out, and he showed me this." She held the box out, its weight pulling at her arms, and May took it, her fingers brushing the crescent moon with a reverence Lily didn't understand. May's breath hitched as she pried the lid open, the hinges squeaking, revealing a tarnished silver locket nestled in faded cloth. Inside was a photo, yellowed, creased, of a young May, her hair dark and loose, standing beside a man with a gentle smile, a russet pup at their feet, its collar marked with that same crescent moon. "Your grandpa," May said, her voice cracking like dry wood. "Gene, he hid this back in the war. Said it'd keep us safe." Lily's eyes widened, her braid falling over her shoulder as she leaned in. "Gene? Our Gene?" Rusty's hazel eyes flared then, a soft shimmer, like sunlight on water, and a vision slammed into her. Gene kneeling in this cellar, his hands steady as he sealed the nook, the pup, barking at his side, distant bombs rumbling through the earth. She saw him tuck the locket in, his face tight with resolve, whispering, "For May, for our girl." The vision faded, and Lily stumbled back, gasping, her hands clutching Rusty's fur. "Gran," he showed me, "Gene and the pup, hiding it. Rusty's like him." May's hand flew to her mouth, tears glinting in her eyes. "That dog, Gene's line maybe. Loyal beyond time, beyond reason." Rusty whined, pressing his head against Lily's leg, and she felt it, a thread of love, of duty, tying her to him, to this moment. The vineyard outside was quiet, the workers gone home, but a sudden crash shattered the stillness, with splintering, voices barking commands. May straightened, clutching the locket, her voice sharp again. "Trouble's here. Hide that dog, Lily." Lily grabbed Rusty, her heart pounding as she ducked behind a barrel, his warmth steadying her. Boots thudded down the stairs. Two men, suits crisp despite the dust, one flashing a badge, Agent P. Klein, Historical Recovery. "Mei-chun." Klein's voice was smooth, edged with steel. "That box, it's state property, tied to wartime espionage. We're taking it." His eyes flicked to Rusty, narrowing. "And that mutt, part of a lineage we've tracked. Both come with us now." May stepped forward, her small frame a wall, her voice low and fierce. "This is my husband's, not yours to steal." Klein smirked, his flashlight sweeping the cellar, but Rusty's glow spiked. A vision bursting in Lily's mind. Klein in a sterile office, files stamped. Project Lunar, dogs in cages, their eyes glowing. She whispered, "No way," her grip tightening on Rusty. They'd fight for him for Jin's legacy, no matter who came knocking. The cellar's air grew thick as Klein loomed over May, his partner, a burly man with a buzz cut, blocking the stairs, their flashlights slicing through the shadows like knives. Lily pressed herself against the barrel, Rusty trembling beside her, his russet fur brushing her arm, his hazel glow dim but fierce. May held the box tight, her stance unyielding, her voice a growl. "You've got no claim here. Get out of my cellar." Klein's smile thinned, his eyes cold under the brim of his hat. "Gene Shin smuggled intel in that locket, codes from the war. It's evidence, and that dog's a genetic asset we've been tracing. You've got till dawn to hand them over, or we take them by force." May's jaw clenched, her fingers white around the box. "Gene was no spy. He was a farmer, hiding to keep us alive. You're twisting it." Klein shrugged, his partner shifting closer, boots scuffing the stone. "History says otherwise." "Dawn, May, don't make this hard." He turned, his suit rustling as he climbed the stairs, but his partner lingered. Radio crackling low, perimeters set, watch the exits. The trapdoor slammed shut behind them, and May spun, locking it with a clang, her hands shaking as she leaned against it. Espionage. Lies. Gene worked signals, not secrets. They want power, not truth. Lily peeked out from behind the barrel, Rusty's warmth anchoring her. "Gran, he showed me. Gene's sealing it, bombs going off. They're making it up." May nodded, her eyes dark with resolve. "That dog's special, tied to Gene, to you. They'll twist anything to get him." Night settled over the winery, the vineyard silent under a crescent moon, but a low hum broke the stillness. Engines rumbling, creeping closer through the hills. Rusty's glow flared, sharp and sudden, and a vision hit Lily, Klein's black vans. Rolling up the gravel drive, men spilling out in dark gear, flashlights cutting the night, their radios buzzing with orders. She bolted up, her voice cracking. "Gran, they're here. Right now." May's face hardened, and she grabbed a pruning knife from a shelf, its blade glinting in the lantern light. "Cellar hatch, move, Lily." Lily scooped Rusty into her arms, his weight light but solid, the box tucked under her elbow as she darted to a side tunnel, a narrow passage of stone May had shown her once, a relic from Prohibition days. The front door above crashed open, with splintering, boots stomping across the floorboards as Klein's voice boomed. "Find them. Check the cellar." May shoved Lily forward, her knife raised, whispering, "Go, little fox. Don't look back." They slipped into the tunnel, the air dank and tight, Rusty's glow lighting the way as the trapdoor rattled behind them. Lily's sneakers splashed through puddles, her breath hitching as shouts echoed. "They're down there." Klein barked. The tunnel spat them out into the vineyard, the night air sharp with the scent of crushed grapes, rain starting to patter on the leaves. Flashlights swept the rows, beams grazing the vines. Too close, too fast. May hissed, "Run, Lily. Keep him safe." Lily bolted, Rusty's fur damp against her chest, her braid whipping as vines snagged her overalls. A shot cracked through the air, not at them, a warning into the sky, and Lily's heart leapt, her legs pumping harder. Rusty's glow pulsed, a vision flickering, a storage shed, north beyond the barrel stacks, hidden by a tangle of ivy. "There." Lily swerved, her voice a gasp, May's boots pounding behind her. They reached the shed, its door warped but solid, and shoved inside, slamming it shut as beams danced past, Klein's voice snapping. "Lost him. Spread out. Check the fields." Lily sank to the dirt floor, panting, Rusty licking her hand, his hazel eyes steady. May clutched the locket, her breath ragged. "Jin's fight. It's ours now, little fox." Lily nodded, her fingers buried in Rusty's fur. They guard this mystery, this bond, against anyone who dared come near. The shed was a cramped, musty haven, its walls lined with rakes and burlap sacks, the air thick with the smell of earth and rusting metal. Lily huddled in a corner, Rusty curled beside her, the box resting on her lap. Its crescent moon a faint gleam in the dark. May leaned against a stack of crates, her pruning knife gripped tight, her silver hair glinting in the faint glow of a lantern Lily had found on a shelf and lit with trembling hands. The vineyard outside was a sea of shadows, rain drumming softly on the tin roof, muffling the distant voices of Klein's men as they prowled the rows. Rusty's hazel glow pulsed softly, a steady rhythm like a heartbeat, his loyalty, a shield against the fear clawing at Lily's chest. May traced the locket with her thumb, her voice low and rough. Jean worked signals in the war, radio codes, not espionage. Hid this to keep us free, not to play their games. Lily nodded, her mind replaying Rusty's vision, Jin's careful hands sealing the nook, the pup's barks echoing, the rumble of bombs shaking the earth. She saw his face, stern but kind, his eyes like hers, whispering promises to a family he might not see again. Rusty's his, Gran, shows me what he saw. Why'd they lie? May's lips pressed thin. Power, control. That dog's got something they want, something Jean started. A rustle broke the quiet, twigs snapping, footsteps deliberate and close outside the shed. May tensed, her knife raised, but a familiar voice rasped through the rain. "May? Lily? It's Sam." Lily's heart leapt. Sam Torres, their oldest picker, a wiry man with a limp from a tractor accident, stepped into the lantern light, his cap dripping, a vet bag slung over his shoulder. "Saw those vans creeping up," he said, kneeling beside Rusty, his weathered face creasing with worry. "Knew you'd bolt somewhere. What's going on?" Lily spilled it all. The barking, the nook, the box, Klein's threats. Her voice steady despite the tremble in her hands. Sam's eyes widened at Rusty's glow, his rough fingers brushing the dog's fur. "What's with them eyes?" May handed him the locket, and Sam studied it, then pulled a small scanner from his bag, a battered thing he used for livestock. He ran it over Rusty, pausing at a faint scar behind his ear, the device beeping as it flashed a string of numbers. Lineage, Old War tech, enhanced dogs for signals, maybe tracking. Jin's project, or something after. He's proof they kept it going. May cursed under her breath, her knife lowering slightly. Jin's work. Sam nodded, his voice grim. Could be, bred em loyal, linked em to folks. This one's tied to Lily now, visions and all. Rusty whined, pressing closer to her, and Lily felt a surge of pride. He wasn't just a dog. He was her partner, her furry friend. Flashlights swept closer outside, Klein's voice barking through the rain. "Check the sheds. North side." Sam's head snapped up. "We can't stay. They'll sweep the whole damn valley." He grabbed his radio, its static crackling. "My truck's by the creek. Got a safe spot east, old barn my cousin keeps. We hide him there, figure this out." Lily lifted Rusty, his warmth steadying her, whispering, "You're mine, okay? We're good." May tucked the locket into her apron, her eyes fierce. "Let's move, little fox." They slipped out the shed's back, Sam leading through the dripping vines, the rain masking their steps as headlights bobbed in the distance. The drive was tense, Sam's truck rattling over muddy ruts, headlights off, the vineyard fading into a blur of green and shadow. They reached the barn, a sturdy, weathered thing half lost in the hills, and Sam carried Rusty inside, settling him on a pile of straw in a warm corner. "He'll heal up," he said, checking the dog's ribs with gentle hands. "But they'll keep hunting. We've got to be ready." Lily sank beside Rusty, her braid damp against her neck, his hazel glow a quiet. Promise, they weren't alone in this fight, not with her furry friend by her side. The barn's rough-hewn walls glowed faintly under a dawn sky, the first. Streaks of pink bleeding through the cracks as Lily sat cross-legged beside Rusty, a tattered blanket draped over her knees. The vineyard hills loomed outside, their curves softened by morning mist, and Rusty rested in the straw, his russet fur catching the light, his breathing steady as he licked his paws clean. May stood by the barn door, her pruning knife propped against a beam, sipping bitter tea Sam had brewed over a camp stove in the corner. Sam knelt nearby, sorting through a stack of papers, old vineyard logs he'd grabbed from his truck, Jin's cramped handwriting tucked between the lines. Notes on signals and codes from decades past. "War stuff," he muttered, flipping a page. "Enough here to prove Jean wasn't no spy. Might even burn Klein if we get it out." Lily ran her fingers through Rusty's fur, his soft whine of comfort as she watched his hazel eyes flicker. "Why me, huh?" she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. Sam glanced over, his grin tired but warm. "He chose you, kid. Jin's spirit, maybe looking out. That link's yours now, visions and all." Lily's chest swelled. She wasn't just little Lily anymore, the girl who chased lizards. She was part of something bigger, something that stretched back through time. May set her mug down, her eyes softening. "Will they take him, Sam?" she asked, her voice rough with worry. Sam shook his head, firm. "Not if we move smart. Keep him hid, get this to the right folks." The barn was quiet, the dawn still, but Rusty stirred, his ears twitching as a faint squeak escaped his throat. His hazel glow flared, sharp and sudden, and a vision crashed into Lily, Klein. In a black van parked down the valley road, Maps spread across a dashboard, men in dark jackets nodding as he pointed east toward the hills, his voice clipped. They're close. Find that barn. The image shattered, and Lily jolted up, her blanket slipping to the straw. Gran, Sam, they're coming right now. Sam cursed, grabbing his radio, its static crackling as he twisted the dial. Signal's weak. Damn rain, but they're close, all right. May snatched her knife, her face set like stone. We move him, north, deeper in the hills. Sam nodded, already hefting a crate from the corner, its slats sturdy enough to hold Rusty. Lily helped, her hands quick as she lifted the dog, his weight familiar now. Whispering, "We're okay, Rusty. You're mine." May tucked the box and locket into a sack, slinging it over her shoulder, while Sam kicked dirt over the stove's embers. They piled into the truck, Rusty's crate wedged between Lily and May, the engine, rumbling to life as Sam gunned it north, headlights off, the road a twisting ribbon through fog and pines. Lily's heart pounded, her fingers gripping Rusty's fur through the crate's gaps, his glow flickering like a beacon in the dim cab. The vineyard faded behind them, the hills swallowing the truck's tracks, but headlights flared in the rear view, sharp, fast, cutting through the mist. Klein's vans, closing the gap, their engines a low growl over the crunch of gravel. Sam swore, swerving onto a narrower path, branches scraping the sides. Lily clutched Rusty tighter, his hazel eyes meeting hers through the slats, the glow spiking bright. "What's your loyalty worth, huh?" she asked, her voice bold despite the fear clawing her throat. Rusty's whine rose, deep and wild, a sound that vibrated through her, a promise. Unfolding, a vow that he'd stay with her, no matter the chase. May gripped her shoulder, fierce. "He's your fight, little fox, ours." The truck jolted over roots, Klein's lights flashing closer, and Lily steeled. Herself,